She had been dancing since she could remember. The first memory she carried was not of words or toys, but of rhythm. At 3 years old, she spun clumsily in her grandmother's living room while the radio hummed. By 5, she stood in front of mirrors in a studio, her hair pulled tight, learning how discipline could transform awkward steps into grace. Every year after that was a ladder she climbed: recitals, competitions, scholarships, the move to a prestigious academy. The stage became her universe, the audience her oxygen. She believed her body was indestructible, her destiny unquestionable. By her 20s, she was a rising star in a national ballet company. Critics wrote about the precision of her movements, the fire in her leaps, the poetry she brought to each role. She performed Swan Lake, Giselle, modern works that demanded both technique and emotion. Her calendar was full, her world carefully tuned to rehearsals, costumes, and lights. She lived for the moment when the curtain lifted and silence fell, seconds before the music began. In that silence, she felt infinite. But destiny does not honor calendars. It was during rehearsal for a new production that it happened. A single leap, a landing slightly off, a twist of the knee, and pain like fire slicing up her leg. She collapsed on the floor, breathless not from exertion but from horror. Doctors confirmed the truth. Torn ligaments, severe damage, surgery required. Recovery would take months, perhaps years. A return to the stage was uncertain. She told herself she would fight. She endured surgery, crutches, therapy sessions where every step felt like glass. But as weeks turned into months, the truth grew harder to silence. Her body did not respond the way it once had. Balance was uneven, strength fleeting. Each failed attempt was another curtain falling, another applause that would never come. Depression seeped in. Without dance, she felt erased. She avoided friends, avoided mirrors. Nights stretched long, filled with the echo of music she would never perform again. To numb the ache, she turned to pills prescribed for pain, then to stronger ones, not prescribed at all. Addiction crept quietly, and soon she was not just mourning her career, she was fighting for survival. Years blurred. She drifted from one small job to another, unable to find purpose. People who recognized her on the street saw a shadow. They whispered about wasted talent, about how quickly the spotlight disappears. She pretended not to hear, but the whispers grew inside her until she believed them. Her second chance arrived in the unlikeliest way. A neighbor, knowing her past, asked if she could help teach a small group of children at a community center. They needed someone for an after-school program, someone who could show kids a few steps of ballet. She wanted to refuse. She felt unworthy, broken, incapable of teaching what she could no longer perform. But the neighbor insisted, and something in her, perhaps a flicker of the old discipline, said yes. The first day she entered the center, she felt out of place. The studio was nothing like the polished halls she once knew. Cracked mirrors, scuffed floors, no piano, just a speaker that buzzed. The children stared at her, some shy, some restless, none aware of her past glory. She began awkwardly, demonstrating simple steps, correcting posture, counting beats. She expected failure. But then something unexpected happened. A girl smiled as she balanced on tiptoe, proud of her own clumsy effort. A boy who struggled with focus found himself counting rhythm out loud, delighted that his body could follow. The children laughed, stumbled, tried again. And for the first time in years, she felt a spark, not from perfection, but from possibility. She returned the next day, and the next. Weeks turned into months. The class grew. Parents began to watch from the doorways. She found herself planning routines, digging old music from her collection, remembering how to weave stories through movement. Her own body still ached. Her leg never fully healed, but her spirit began to stand taller. In teaching, she rediscovered dance. Not as flawless execution, but as expression. She saw in the children what she had lost, the joy of moving simply because movement is life. She began to smile again, to sleep without pills, to imagine a future that did not demand perfection. One evening, after a small recital at the center, a mother approached her in tears. My daughter used to be so shy, she said. Now she dances around the house. You gave her that. The words struck her deeper than any review, any applause. She realized that perhaps she had not lost her stage. She had only found a new one. Years later, her program expanded. She built a school for children who could not afford formal training. She sought donations, lobbied for space, partnered with others who believed in the power of art. Some of her students went on to pursue dance professionally. Many did not. But all carried with them confidence, discipline, and joy. She still carried her scar, the ache in her knee a reminder of the fall. But now she wore it like a medal. It told her story, that she had once lost everything, and then found something greater. She was no longer the ballerina who vanished when the curtain closed. She was the teacher who showed children how to open curtains of their own. Her second chance was not about returning to the spotlight. It was about creating light for others. And in that, she discovered that the dance had never truly ended. It had only changed stage.